Hi everyone, so July stats are in and man is it an exciting time despite all of the pandemic, etc. So here we are basically looking at the year-to-date numbers with a comparison of what's happened June over July on the end here. So sales, you know what, pretty normal first quarter. March probably would have even been stronger than it was because obviously COVID hit mid-March. We see an impact in April, an impact in May. Things start to come back to life. And here we are with a July bigger than a June, which is not a normal phenomenon with a 6.7% increase in the number of sales, July versus June. We're having a late spring in a way. Active listings, hey, looks like it's very steady, but that's not what it's supposed to look like. We're supposed to be basically moving through the year with increasing in inventory. So what does that show? Well, look at the months of inventory we have. 2 at the beginning of the year, 1.6, 1.3. Hey, a little bit of a bump as COVID kind of takes place. But look at this, we're sitting with less than 1 month's worth of inventory right now. What does that do? It pushes prices up, as you can see, 466 all the way up to 529 this month. So kind of holding steady with last July. So let's take a look at what this kind of looks like as a trend. So typically in Ottawa, we see this year over year. We're a very stable, consistent market. We're up through the spring and a real slow decline through the rest of the year. That's what we've had for over a decade. Well, what do we have here? We're moving up through our typical March numbers, and then as we're supposed to really be peaking, we have a big fall off. But look at this. We're outpacing where we should be. The best way for me to describe it, I've already said it, it's essentially we're having a late blooming spring in terms of the real estate market. Moving on, let's just take a peek at what's happening with pricing and with inventory and things. So again, this is July of 2020 versus July of 2019. So year over year, essentially, a greater number of sales by 20%, well, 19.1%. Greater sales this year over last. And again, that's that pent up demand coming back into the marketplace. Meanwhile, there's a 51% reduction in inventory. You know, we're sitting on 1,783 houses versus 3,600 last year. 0.8 months worth of standing inventory. What happens when you have that little inventory? Well, it's a simple supply and demand curve, and demand is far outstripping supply, so guess what happens to prices? Let's take a peek. There it is. So a 20% increase in residential prices, July over July, a 19.4% increase in the condominium prices, July over July. So this is a crazy year, very unprecedented, surprising to many of us because you would think that a global pandemic might slow the real estate market, but this shows an incredible amount of consumer confidence in the Ottawa market. So I'm not a clairvoyant, but I can say this. With 0.8 months of standing inventory in the marketplace, there's no end in sight to increasing prices. Prices will continue to rise as long as that inventory number is that low. So a unique thing for Ottawa, crazy good for sellers, challenging for buyers, but of course if you're in the market on both sides, you sell high, you buy high, so it's not that big. Meanwhile, money's really cheap, which is probably boosting some of this. So there it is, super exciting, and my prediction based on the low inventory is we're going to continue to see prices rising for the short term anyways. We'll be back to you to let you know what happened in August, and take good care, be healthy and safe, and look forward to sharing with you the next month. Take care.